I was in an argument with this guy and he just didn't seem to get it whenever I said that Train are the most influential band since the Beatles. See, I have alternative facts as well. Hey everyone, John from ARTV. 10 albums in. Train are a pop rock band and have been at it for a while. Really the only official remaining member of the original band at this point is the lead singer Pat Monahan, and the new album they've got is called A Girl, a Bottle, a Boat. Wow. That just says it all right there, doesn't it? There's definitely a few moments in their discography that I excuse, find perfectly acceptable, and in fact enjoy in places, but I have never called myself a Train fan, especially when 2009 rolled around and you could not go 20 minutes without hearing Hey Soul Sister. It reached the top 5 of the Billboard Hot 100. They had some follow-up success off of that album, Save Me San Francisco. That was their big comeback after they almost broke up, and they saw a resurgence in popularity for some reason. Apparently people just have a really big taste for super cheesy, poorly written pop music. Okay, I will say there were actually a few pretty good songs off of that record. In fact, the self-titled single from that one I actually thought was pretty damn solid overall. And on their follow-up record, I did not like the lead single Drive By at all, but the follow-up 50 Ways to Say Goodbye was actually kind of clever. I will give it to them. Cheesy as hell, still a very, very fun song. And whenever Train can nail that vibe, I think they are at their best. And here on this new record, honestly, I went into it expecting nothing, but they actually delivered a few songs that I find pretty damn entertaining. Why is that? Why is Train succeeding with something, especially with pretty much all of their members gone? They really don't have any rock elements to them much anymore. They definitely do still have band features. There's guitars in the music. There is some real drumming mixed with some more of the electronic and program stuff. The hooks on this thing are huge, very padded, fluffy, cheesy, inflated. You'll hear me use some of these terms time and time again just because they go hand in hand with Train. These are elements of what make them them, I suppose. And if you're on board with that, I can see you enjoying it, but if not, you might have a hard time getting into this album. And I really don't think that this is something that I'm going to keep coming back to over and over again, but listening through this thing like 5 or 6 times, I find myself coming back to, or at least maybe wanting to come back to the melodies of some of these tracks, like The News. It's kind of infuriating because I don't normally like all of these little vocal manipulation things, or else just throwing weird sounds in there, like Adosa Buckley noted in his Worst of 2016 video. Why have we gotten to this point of throwing in these random sounds, especially at the start of songs that loop all throughout? And they do that on moments like The News, and they kick off the track Silver Dollar with that. I don't exactly enjoy that aspect of it, but once we get past that, Silver Dollar is a damn great song, honestly, for what it is, for pop at its most poppiest from Train. It's catchy as hell. It's got a nice little sultering guitar line that works its way in there, and the program drums mixed with some of the live drumming, it seems like, actually sounds great, so I have to give props to them there. That's probably my favorite song on the entire album. Pat Monahan has been known to love the oldies, and on the 1938 sampled Heart and Soul for Play That Song, we get a really, really bad rendition, an updated take on the classic that Pat Monahan hoped would really connect with like all types of fans. Apparently it didn't work, and it kind of pisses me off that it's seeing any kind of chart success. An awful song, one that makes no sense, but what more, I suppose, should I expect in the lyrical sense from the guy that wrote Hey Soul Sister? Lottery is just cringeworthy, terrible lyrical content that you could see being taken and lifted from other tracks that talked about the same thing, comparing like, oh, finding this girl or finding this relationship, comparing it to winning the lottery, and not to mention it's got this kind of retro glaze to it as well, and I'm able to see straight through it, and I just want to press skip every single time it comes up. Another one that kind of throws it back to old doo-wop type styles would be Valentine, probably the worst song on this project, one that I cannot take one more listen to, honestly, because every time it comes on, it reminds me that I could be listening to some of the older music that influenced this, and those are just so much better than Pat Monahan putting on his best impersonation imagination and reliving his grandfather's glory days. I get the Train are really influenced by older music, they have a passion for it, they did the Led Zeppelin cover album, all that good stuff, but can they stop taking so many elements and applying it in such shitty ways to their music? Just listen to Working Girl on this record. It sounds like they're trying to be Journey with the way he's belting this one out and the big build-ups. I'm in love with a working girl. There's this weird feeling going all throughout this record where it just doesn't quite know what it is. It's kind of an identity crisis. It takes from all of these different perspectives and styles of music. There's elements of these songs that just drive me crazy, but then I like the melody, or I like the chorus, or I like the guitar in the track, or even some of the drumming, but none of the things seem to line up quite perfectly. I mean, there's not really one song that I would call out as just absolutely fantastic. I mean, I like the track Silver Dollar a whole lot, but it's not one that I would call totally flawless by any means. Just look at the horns that open that track up. Just kind of infuriating that they felt they needed to be there for some reason, and then they go all throughout Valentine and they just kind of feel out of place. And then look to the moment that features Priscilla Renea, I hope I'm saying that name right, on the track Loverman. The chorus on that thing sounds like Postman, you know, whenever Lil Wayne tried to sample that on a track back on one of the early Carter albums. Yeah, it didn't exactly work out too well for Train. I think Wayne actually pulled it off. It's weird that I'm giving him a compliment in the middle of a Train review, but here we are. You Better Believe guides the album out on its cheesiest moment. It's just like you almost made it home. You were drunk, you're getting home from the bar, you decided to walk. It's only 16 blocks, you'll make it just fine. But then you collapse in your neighbor's lawn and they find you naked with your pants down the next morning and have to call the cops. I will say that I got some entertainment from this record. It's not that bad. Besides the songs that I really had to call out there and really felt pretty harshly about, there's actually some enjoyable stuff. It starts off with Drink Up, a catchy as hell, kind of buzzing anthem that I really find myself gravitating towards. The News, like I talked about, even with its kind of weird vocal manipulation thing, actually pulls it off kind of well for a pretty catchy song that's not that awful lyrically. And then the likes of Silver Dollar, What Good Is Saturday? It's got catchy moments to it as well. Don't look at this as a glowing recommendation or anything like that, but there's definitely a few songs that I would recommend checking out. Overall, I think the replay factor is pretty low, although a few songs I could definitely see being added to your playlist. It just feels like this album came out in the wrong part of the year. Maybe they're just looking ahead this summer, hoping that people will still remember it somehow at this point in this ADHD-ridden world. Me personally, A Girl, A Bottle of Boat is getting a 2.5 out of 5. Let me know your thoughts on the Train album in the comments section down below. Smash the like button while you're here and subscribe to the channel because friends don't let friends go unsubscribe. More top 10s, Q&As, and a brand new series launching in the next week or two. And check me out on social media to stay up to date on that. It's linked in the description. You can find another review that I did in the pop rock world right here, or click right here to see another recent video I did on the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you very soon right here on ARTV.